Um, so I'm going to do. Oh, here we go. Welcome everyone to another riveting, um, stirring, and emotionally bare episode of Good Morning Tone Town. I'm your co-host, Super Danger,
I am your other co-host, Tom Butwin. Hello.
and today we will play the A chord as usual in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love it.
that's a pedal.
Yeah. Is it the pedal?
It's the Digitech Freakout.
Oh, okay. We've moved on from Tweedville.
I love my tweet, but this is or the Freakout adds feedback.
Oh,
and
cool.
it's and it
Oh,
sounds like real feedback.
I believed it. I
It
believed it.
was I mean, you got to have the right settings on it, obviously, because it can sound really Digitech.
Huh.
But I'm doing that and the ricochet, which is like a whammy pedal, which
Yeah.
like bends. And all the videos I saw of it are like, oh, that's cool, but it feels like so. There's a guitarist, Pat Metheny, right? Like one of the best ever to do it, and he had a synth attached on his guitar. I don't know if you've seen any of the performances, but he could change it. He was like one of the first guys to really do it a lot, and his playing would change depending on, like the synth that it would sound like. And he was talking about it. He was like, "Listen, like you can't play it like a guitar when it's like that. It's not a guitar anymore. It's something much different. And so you should modify your playing." And that's, I feel like sometimes when people get pedals that are a little bit outside of the range of what they would normally get, they keep trying to play it like what they would normally play it. And a lot of times, equipment wants to only fit like here. It's like this is what we do, and you'll see like I can't get a clean tone out of my diesel or something. And you're like, well, that's not really what it's for. I mean, that's a straw man argument, but like a lot of times I'll see these guys like I couldn't do what I wanted. And I'm like, I don't think it ever could have done. It's like it's just simply that gear is not made for what you were trying to do.
Yeah, you're trying to fit a round peg into a square hole sometimes. I've done this
Yeah.
where it's like I mean, for the longest time, may sound dumb, but for the longest time I did that with Strats, or in this case, guy. I'm like, I want it to sound like this. I'm like, the whole time I wanted to just sound like a Gibson, like. And, like I had this dumb realization one day. I'm just like, that's not what this does. Like, it just doesn't do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like the three single chord, but for whatever reason, I'm just like, well, I wanted to do that, and you know, sometimes it takes a minute to learn.
Right. Right. And, yeah. I was intemperate in my youth,
Yeah.
and yeah. I mean, so I had that that throwaway line about as I've gotten older, I wanted to become a tweed guy. But I think there's something to that where as you get older, you start to realize like the simplicity of things is something that is actually kind of fun, especially if you have limited time for playing. But then conversely, that like you're not trying to change every piece of gear, like you're trying to find out what makes that gear special. And a lot of people thought I was talking about like I'm liking the new trend. I'm like, no, you missed the point. You missed what I was trying to say. Because what I was trying to say is, as you get older, you just start to realize like there's something here that I haven't found. There's something I can learn from this,
Sure.
instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
So sorry, go.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You had
Huge news, right?
Yeah.
You saw it. Eddie, welcome. Sean, welcome.
Great shirt.
You have the same shirt? Looks better on me? No, it's probably just the lighting. It's good lighting. I bet you it looks great on you. Don't dismiss your debonair looks, please, Sean.
Yes.
So the huge news. Michael Palmisano, the guy that reacts, the guitar teacher that reacts to videos, a killer player, PRS artist, I think.
Yeah.
What he's got, like 500,000 subs and
Crazy.
Hundreds of thousands of students taught around the world. Like one of the guys who I started watching, be like, wow, maybe I should make a video. He came out with a pedal.
He did, and it's you know what? I'll tell you. So you sent me the video last night, and I watched it, and it's like a 12 or 13 minute video. And I'll be honest, like right off the top, I was like, do we need this? Is this something we? But by the end of it, I was like, this is not hyperbole. Like I really, this is like one of the coolest concepts and ideas that I've ever seen. It's so, and
Right.
in my mind, it's got two different uses. We can talk about. I would like to get your reaction because we purposely didn't talk about it beforehand.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is all fresh. I
Fresh,
think um, there's two things that I love about it, even without getting to the product. One, he put his money where his mouth is, and he created a
yeah,
tangible. He went into manufacturing and digital, um, and made in America.
yeah,
Like, incredibly for the R&D for that. I don't think you guys understand how expensive it is to. If any of you work in with any CNC kind of company or with aluminum, it is a pain in the butt. It's impossible to get on their timeline, especially when you're small, when you don't have a background, you don't have your connect. That alone, I'm like, wow, great job. So whoever his head of product is, I'm assuming they have some sort of manufacturing background because that is so hard. So good for him. I'm like, I don't care what he's making. I'm gonna try to buy it if there's any available. Um, then number two, no Bluetooth. I'm like, you are like that alone. I'm like, you get it. You get what the
yeah.
problem is with Bluetooth. One, it's one of the most unsecure protocols out there. I used to work in telecom, and I'm telling you, if you want to hack someone, all you got to do is use Bluetooth or putting up a free Wi-Fi router is actually another great way to steal people's data. But
Different channel. It's our other channel.
right, yeah,
How to hack.
yeah, that's my OPSEC channel. So then, so there's that. But like you, when I first saw it, I'm like, a looper?
Yeah, I was like,
I was like, why do you make a looper? Well, I'll let you take it from here. You tell me why you think this is such a great product.
so we've and this live stream is actually evidence of this. Like, how many times have we talked over each other or tripped over each other or tried to play an A chord at the same time, and it doesn't quite happen. You and I have worked on tracks together. We haven't written a song together yet, but I'm sure that's something that will happen at some point. But this thing, like I said, I categorize it in two ways. It's a collaborative tool connected to the cloud. It's I think a 4 track, maybe 5 track. I can't remember how many, track looper, but you can, through Wi-Fi and this app and community that he's created, you can loop something, send it to your friend who also has the teleport, right? And they get it. Now here, it's not. It's like I'm pitching for him, but like I don't even know. I've never met him in my life. So, but this is just how excited I am after watching the video. But the cool thing is here is you have separate outputs for each thing you get. So if Alex sends me his guitar track, I can send that to my deluxe reverb here. And then let's say I record a bass track over and I send it back. He's going to route the bass to his bass amp in the room or his DAW, and he's going to route the guitar to an amp or a pedal or whatever. And now you get this like multi-track capability to share ideas back and forth with multiple musicians, and it's a social network. So you can, and this is the second part, which this is what sold me right here. You now can say, well, I want to know, like, let's say I don't have Alex's telly. I love your telly, right? I want to know what that would sound like through my rig. Well, Alex lives in Nashville. I live in Detroit. That's an expensive plane ticket. Instead, Alex can loop something, send it to me through teleport. I can then play an uncompressed wave file of him playing his telly into my rig, and I can say, I want to build your guitar now because I know that's the pickup configuration for me. Or I'm like, nah, it doesn't really do it. That is what blew my mind. Now we can test gear virtual. It's amazing. Amazing. I hope I did a good job
Right.
explaining that.
And he like saved that nugget
For
for
the
the
end.
end of the video. I'm like, wait a second. This that has to be in front. I'm
I
like, that
know.
to me is like imagine you're Seymour Duncan, right? I'm Seymour Duncan. I'm Lawler. I'm,
Exactly.
Warmoth.
Exactly.
Like for like I mean Tone Woods. You can do Tone Wood tests all the live long day at home.
Dude,
like
it blew my
I
mind.
could sell like I could sell like the sounds of things. Like as a
Yeah.
creator, you can do that. I mean, there's just like
Yeah.
limitless there. And then on top of that, you can like collaborate and work with anyone. Like, hey guys, like I threw out a track. Let's hear your solos. Imagine John Mayer saying solo with
There you go.
me.
That's it. And so there you go. You get an artist who it's like, well, I wonder what it'd be like if John came over to my house, plugged into my played. I mean, that's kind of like it's kind of not gimmicky, but it's like it's not necessarily like playing guitar, but I could hear what Mayer sounds like playing through my pedals, and then I can say, well, actually, Tom, it's not the fact that you have a TS9 tube screamer that you don't sound like John Mayer. It's the fact that you haven't practiced enough, and then
Right, it's gonna like it's gonna dispel so many myths. If it's like, I don't think my guitar amp, my setup sounds good, and then I download someone's track, and them just playing, well, a
right,
Strat or a Tele, and I'm like, oh, they sound good. I'm like, okay, so it's me. I'm not good. It's just like, so in that regard, I think a lot of people are not gonna like it. They're like, oh, I can't blame my rig anymore. I'm just not good at
right.
guitar, or I'm not
I,
good enough.
there you go. Yeah, dude, I legitimately like when that piece came in at the end. Like, I was excited as he was demonstrating. He had a bassist there who's a great player,
Yeah.
and it was cool. And then there's a drum machine, there's a click track. They're gonna update different drum kits and stuff. But
Not ready to blame our rigs,
yeah,
Sean. All right, I know. I will never blame my rig.
no, it's not. I had a very short-lived high school sports career, and I played lacrosse for a short period of time. And I'd never forget this coach had said this to me. He's like, "It's not the stick that sucks; it's you." And I was,
He said that to you?
yeah. Well, he's right.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the stick. I'm like, if I just had a little bit more expensive stick, I could probably, I'd be better. And he's like, "Nah, man, it's not the stick, you." So, which is why I put a new pick guard on this. I can play better now.
All
So,
right.
and
Yeah.
improve. But no, man, it's really exciting. I mean, like, I remember him teasing something, but it was so vague in a video, and I just assumed it was another online course that he
Right.
was teasing. Um, but this is what it was, and I talk about like unexpected. I
Yeah.
like, and then what it is too is super exciting. So
Right. So him building out I mean, it's not hard to get your own cloud. Like you can work with AWS and you get your own cloud. That's quite easy to do.
right,
But for him to have like functionality ready to go now without any hiccups, really quick upload, I was I was shocked. I
yeah,
couldn't believe it. Because
yeah,
it's like he doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's going to fake a P2P like data share.
all
So I'm
right.
like, he's probably not faking it. He
No,
doesn't, you know what I mean? He doesn't seem
I,
like a guy that's like slick and trying to pull an over on you. It's like, no, this
no,
is legit.
he's very genuine.
Um,
He's very genuine. I mean, that's a big reason for his success. Is he seems very, and lesson to all of us YouTubers also. He just seems so accessible. When you watch
yeah,
his videos, and he's an amazing player, and then that translates to his teaching also. Or it's not. It's just you want to hear him play. You want to hear what he has to say. And now that's how.
yeah,
As soon as I clicked on the video, of I'm like, okay, all right, I'm not really into looping, but oh, wait a minute, and then it's just off to the races. 13 minutes of fun. Only 1,000 initially though. Pedals.
1,000.
Top,
Yeah, they're
top,
right. Yeah,
so,
that's probably only how many chips he could get. So then, right, microchips, especially now,
sure. Oh, lose.
and it's at first I was, but then Tom and I realized, oh my gosh, this is an amazing product, and we're thrilled to see what it's going to do because there's many things that made it incredibly difficult to go uphill. That's working against them. So and for them to offer it made in America Wi-Fi for $4.99 again.
Yeah,
Like I'm not sure what his margins are on that. So
pretty thin.
like he can't be making that much money on it. Like probably after manufacturing and shipping's included. I mean,
And
he's probably making like $100 a pedal, maybe.
yeah, Yeah, I think it's
Like
probably,
maybe not. Like you might not even make $100 per pedal.
yeah, it's probably long, a long term hope that it will become more profitable. We were lagging for a minute, and Tone Town became Lag Town, and Sean made sure to let us know. I couldn't
Oh,
let that joke go by. That was quite funny. Um, but yeah, I mean, and I think it's discounted when it drops too. $4.99.
right. It's gonna
So
go up to
so
$5.99.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
So, but I mean, but either way, I think the concept of it is really, it's really something. And and from what I can tell, you can use it live. You can use it just like a looper. Like it's not like just limited to this social network cloud type thing. You could put it on your board and go out and play a gig with it and loop and bring up tracks that you pre-recorded, or pre-looped or whatever. So it's got some practical application as well, not just like because I mean the technology exists to do remote recording sessions, and it's a little bit difficult to do like a jam per se, but you can certainly, with a fast enough internet connection, um, do the remote studio thing. But this is not. It's not quite that. This is ideas, collaborations, gig test or gear testing, and then straight up looping in a simple way. As somebody who is intimidated by loopers in general, I love the from what I could tell, the layout and user interface of it was something towards like I could sit down and probably loop something on this without having to even open up the instruction manual, which is nice. So, but exciting,
Yeah.
very exciting.
Yeah. And even more so, like the more people that get into manufacturing, the better in my mind. Like, because
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
again,
I mean,
my hats off to them. So
yeah, absolutely. How many things do you have in your studio that were made in America? You know, not many.
hardly any.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, it's super exciting, man. Thank you for and everybody again.
Yeah.
Like,
My PRS guitars. My
yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
that's
But
it.
not that one.
Nothing else.
But not the one you're holding.
Not this one. Yeah. No.
That one was made
Yeah.
in the depths of whatever the video.
The jungles of Indonesia.
Yeah, right. Or Guitar of Darkness. Yes. Well, I had a question.
So that's a
Go ahead.
what?
Very good.
No. Go. What's your question?
Well, it was a segue. It was a segue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we kind of do a segue? So
Yeah.
I listened to I should have prepped you for this, but I listened to like a 10-minute clip of Corey Wong talking about his approach to rehearsal and just music in general. And I know we've talked a lot about here, like just having fun playing guitar. And I want to get your opinion. Well, I have two questions. One, I want to get your opinion on exactly what having fun means, but through the lens of I want to ask you about, have you ever had a incredibly intense rehearsal situation where you are being expected to do something and it's maybe not quite working, or there's a band leader or a music director who's like kind of just like pushing you, and it's like not to be confrontational, not to, but they know you have it, and they know you're right there, and you're playing at a level to where like that type of minutia of like note cutoffs or just like how you're attacking a note or whatever, you can dig in that deep because you are that prepared already. I'm just wondering, have you ever experienced that? And then how do you think that fits it? Like, at what point are we just, having, because my, like, again, sports reference, I'm terrible at sports. My dad would always tell me, like, if you're playing a game and you're keeping score, you need to try to win. You need to try to perform. And it's like, so at what point in guitar playing do I allow myself to be sloppy at home just playing? Or when do I start holding myself to a higher standard and kind of being that intimidating music director or band leader? So I'm just curious. Two-pronged question, long-winded. Go.
I saw part of that interview for Corey Wong. Yeah, and
Yeah.
um, I haven't worked with an MD that's that demanding. Mostly because the material I play is not that demanding. There's only one band I ever played in where it was very, um, it wasn't strict, but they expected a lot. But that was that top 40 cover band. And that's because there was choreography, there was smoke, there was all sorts of stuff. And the transitions, it was 3 hours, a 3 hour set with no breaks. So there was a lot of quick hits. There was a lot of weird segues. There were like costume changes. So like that, but that none of it came down to my guitar playing. Like almost everything, with the exception of "Sweet Child of Mine," because I wasn't playing it clean enough. Um, and so that was I just had to learn all those 3 hours of music. I didn't know any of those songs, so I learned 3 hours of music in like a week or two, and that was like the lick. I'm like, yes, I know it enough. Didn't know it enough, so he was on my case for that.
Right.
But wait a second, JT, 99% of your gear is made in the USA. Wow,
impressive.
I would say, like, I don't know any musician that has that percentage rate. Maybe 50-50.
Yeah. Tough. Pedals.
Unless they're vintage guys. It's just hard to find stuff that's made in the USA.
Yeah.
And then Chabud from Thailand. Hello, welcome. So no, I haven't. And I think it comes down to, like, what do you want as a guitarist? Like, do you want to be, the higher you get, the more competitive it gets. And the higher you get, the bigger the stage and the more expectations out of you. So it also comes down to your temperament. There's some people who can handle the pressure, and there's some people who can't, who don't want that pressure. So that it really comes down to, like, what do you want? Like, do you want to be in that environment? Because it will make you better, but only if you want it to. Some people just can't hang. A lot of times I can't hang. I'm like, I don't have the skills or the temperament for it a lot of the time. But when you're in a really happening group and, like, there's killer players all around you, it is a lot of fun. I'm not trying to toot my horn here, but there's only been like 3 or 4 times ever when I was like, wow, I'm so far behind everyone here. And those were jazz gigs. So it's like, I'm not a jazz guy. So, like, that's to be expected.
Right.
So, and I'm not trying to say, like, that's guy, but, like, I've been playing guitar for 25 years. So, like, I hope I can sit in with most groups.
Yeah.
Like, otherwise, like, if you're doing something for 25 years, seriously, not as a hobby, but, like, seriously, like, you have to be able to sit in with probably 90% of groups. Like, it should be okay.
Yeah. No, I think I'm not I always joke, like, no one's gonna hire me just to be the guitar player. Like, that's not I get hired to be a vocalist all the time, and then I also play guitar, at a level that's slightly above, just the guy who strums acoustic guitar. So, I mean, I've played, I've played that role many times, but, like, most of the intense scrutiny of parts has come, like, on vocal gigs that I've been on. And that's where, like, when I was listening to Corey talk about it, it's like, I mean, guitar, no, I wouldn't be able to hang, but, like, vocally, like, that to me, like, that's fun. Like, when you show up and the material, like, I mean, like, the material is locked, but then you start to dig into dynamics and, just approach and style and, like, all of this stuff that just takes you that extra, like, 2 to 6%, where it's like, yeah, you could just go because, everybody knows their stuff. But, like, that has been, at first it was intimidating, but then it gets fun because it's like, well, as long as I show up prepared, I'm confident in my skill level and my abilities and my preparation. So now we can, like, really dig into the minutia of, like, the music, but then I think about, like, so we're doing this 30-day practice thing on the guitar, and it's like, well, okay, I think I need that. Like, I don't have somebody yelling at me, but it's like, if I'm practicing something and it's not clean, I shouldn't just check it off the list and just say, "Oh, I did it." Like, so what? Like, I should hold myself to that extra 5% because, like, it's like, that's, I'm playing for fun. I mean, if I'm practicing, but I mean, like, I'm also a professional, so it's like I should get better. But, if I'm doing something for fun, it's like, well, yeah, it's fun. But to me, it's like, I just wonder where that line gets crossed of, like, well, this is no longer fun if I am just, like, beating myself into the ground trying to do this. Like, I guess I'm wondering where that threshold is, even for myself. Like, how at what point is it no longer fun if I'm expecting too much of myself? Maybe
I
no.
guess, yeah, it depends. Like, I also like having fun. To me, like, I can force myself to have fun. So, you know, like, I guess I'll say, like playing in front of a crowd, a lot of fun. Playing
Yeah.
with killer players, like, just being in the room with other people who are amazing at their instrument, that's fun. And if I'm the one who's, getting taken to the cleaners, like then that's if that's the cost, then that's fine for me. I guess I
Right.
don't know. Like, um, I just think there's also just not many operations that can take it that seriously. You know, like there will be times where I sit in with guys and they're killer players, but no one's taking it seriously.
Yeah.
No one wants to do that, and so it comes down to like, is the MD or is the band leader, are they a leader? Are people willing to follow them and understand their vision? Because you can yell and scream at your guys all you want, but if they don't believe you or trust you and your
Right.
vision, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So that comes down to trust, shared vision, communication, but also just being able to back it up.
Hmm.
And that's because a lot of times you see people like, well, that's not a way to treat an employee, and I'm like, that sounds like you're on the B team. That's all I think.
Yeah.
Like when I hear someone saying you shouldn't manage that hard, I'm like, all I think is that you never got picked on the A team. Like you're not an A player, and that's okay because most people are not A players. That's the whole point. Like there's A players, like way up here, and then B and C players, and the few that rise to the top love that pressure and love that expectation. And that's not just music. That's sports. That's business. That's everything. Like the A players are the ones who want to be driven to like the very edge, and they need that to perform because they can handle it, they can take it, and most people cannot. And that's the other thing about it, where it's like the best players just have it in them mentally. It's not a matter of how many hours they put in. It's like they're able to get to that extra level.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a multitude of elements, and it's like, I just think of myself. I'm like, well, and that it's driving me to practice more on the guitar. It's like I'm not my goal isn't necessarily to be like a first call session guitar player. Actually, it's not my goal at all. But my goal is like, well, I want to get better. I want to, if somebody breaks their hand and then I have to step in, like, yeah, I want to be able to do it. Maybe I won't be them, but I'd like to be able to do that more convincingly. And yes, all around yeah, playing from the heart really counts too. Yeah, for sure. That's the mental part of it too, though. Like it's there's preparation, and then there's the heart behind it, play with feeling. Yeah, for sure. Sing
I
with feeling.
agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, and that's why I'm starting this band, because it's like I'm not gonna get. I mean, even if I wanted to, I'm not gonna be even fifth call on a session guy here. So I mean, I have to. But I want to share my music with other people more than just click on this video, right?
yeah,
Which I love doing. I love
yeah,
making videos, obviously, but
yeah.
like I need to get that connection with music, because there's two sides to music. There's the like I love to write and compose and arrange, and then I love to play and perform, and both of those give me like an equal amount of joy. So I, getting in front of people, I think, is my only hope. I like being taken seriously as a musician again, because it's not going to happen in the studio. No one's calling me for their session.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, that's the missing link, if you're, because I mean, like, I spent most of my career as a musician playing in front of people, and very little, in the studio. And then now it's kind of flipped as I do more YouTube video stuff, and it's like, and it's readily apparent to me, that even just, but I think like that. I mean, you don't even necessarily need a music director or a band leader, like, but the fact that you're going to go start a band and play, I mean, like that, you're all of a sudden you're being held accountable in all these tiny little ways. Like if you're playing with a bass player and a drummer, literally on that tune, you're being held accountable. It's like their time is valuable. How many times are you going to restart the song? Like, well, hopefully never. And it's and like there's those little micro accountability things, and it's like, well, I got to book a gig. I got to show up on time. I got to actually perform at the level that I'm expected to perform at the gig. So it's like, and it's still fun, but all of a sudden it's just up in the ante a little bit, which I have found like that part of my blade has been dulled a little bit because I'm so used to having multiple takes in front of a camera. Didn't work. Play it again, no problem. Like, and it's like I look at my early videos and it's like I still had that edge that I had of like coming off of playing gigs. And it's like, and now that it's kind of flipped and it's like 80% video, 20% gigs, uh I need to get back into that like instant not to mention the feedback you get from an audience or your fellow bandmates, and that thing is, those types of things are awesome too. But yeah, I can't wait for your trio. I'm so excited. Can't wait.
Steve, welcome, brother. And also, I appreciate the kind words you said about the channel on the stream you were on last week. So thanks so much for that, man.
Oh, nice.
Sunman, welcome.
A Tone Town congratulations to Alex and Super Danger Studios for hitting 15,000 subscribers.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely, so deserved. So deserved. Should be.
Is it kind of crazy?
Should be 150,000.
I'd love it. And with your help, we'll get there. I need to hold. What do they call those phonathons? Remember them?
Subscribe-a-thon. Yeah.
And have a huge phone bank behind me of people on the phone. Everyone here is calling out. We need your donations. We need your subscriptions. Oh, I should actually do a phonathon. That'd be so funny.
That'd be really
like
fun.
A real one.
I'll be in the background. It'd be great. I'm in.
Call in today.
Yeah.
And me and Goldie co-hosting a phonathon. Oh man, that's funny.
Do it. Oh man.
Oh,
that's
awesome. God, that's man. Okay, I got to think about that. So,
yeah.
Tweed, right? I made 3. This is what's funny about YouTube. So the video launches, right, or of the Deluxe 55 from Origin Effects, which is a great pedal, right? I love it. And then the comparison video against UAFX Woodrow, doubled it in terms of the performance. Not in overall views yet, but it's on track to probably double it. Which is so funny to me because one of the biggest complaints I hear about guitar YouTube is it's always about nitpicking tone. Let's hear some real music. And then I'll post a cover and no one wants to hear that. I'll post original music. No one wants to hear that. Stated preferences, revealed preferences. Everyone says they want original music, but actually what they want is a head-to-head battle of 2 pedals. They don't, YouTube, or at least the majority on YouTube, do not actually want what they say they want. And it's
true.
Because I don't love doing tone. I used to do a lot of tone comparisons, and I just really don't enjoy it because, how can you tell if you're not playing it?
Yeah.
How can you? How or rather, maybe that'll help your purchase. But it's to me, every company in the world will accept a return, and you don't have to give them a reason. You buy it, you play. I don't like it. They won't blacklist you. They'll just say, okay, and you mail it back, and they'll pay for shipping and return. They'll pay for returns. So just buy it, right? Test it out if you can. But how could my video? I mean, maybe it does help, but the comparison videos, I'm always surprised at how well they do because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be saying this because I feel like people really enjoy them, but it's to me, it's I want to make videos about Goldie and Cosmo, but no one wants to watch those.
It's the what's I mean, we've talked about this. You've proven the concept of Goldie and Cosmo, and then it's and unfortunately, it's you're looking. It's the same. Everyone likes a head. You're right. Everyone likes a head-to-head.
You're right. Yeah. And Jay, thank you, buddy. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah. It's I watched watched one last night looking at delay pedals and this, I'm trying to convince myself to get that Supro delay pedal and it's but then I quickly realized I gotta play it. I don't know. I mean, both pedals I'm listening to are great. And tons of people use both of them and they sound and, how many more videos? But I wanted. That's what I wanted. I clicked on the first one that pinned. Looking at, it's I want to know what the Aquapus sounds like next to the Supro delay. And it's bang, there's the first one. I'm clicking on it. I love it. And it's I think people want that. There's a competitiveness to it. Which one's better? But
right.
But yeah, man. But then it's after you skyrocket on the comparison video. And you have 100,000 subscribers, then people will be willing to accept Goldie and Cosmo, and that's how you do it.
Oh, there we go. See that? I find delay reviews a bit repetitive.
Hey.
That's Stone Town approved, that joke.
Oh,
I just imagine that in the Austin Powers voice.
Yeah.
Repetitive. Okay, I guess I'm always surprised at how well. I mean, how can it do better than the launch video? That's what's surprising to me. I'm like, wouldn't the launch video theoretically be more? Well, maybe not.
Maybe not. I mean, because it's like the UAFX one was established. It's been around for 2 or 3 years, and it's like, well, all right,
Right.
there's a new pedal in Tone Town. I want to see how it stacks up to the old Woodrow. You know?
That's true. So that's combining two groups,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Because like the Deluxe 55 is just one group, Origin Effects guys. But now we're saying Origin Effects guys versus my crew versus your crew. Let's battle in the street, like Beat It, Michael Jackson's Beat It.
Exactly. And then you got all the people who aren't in either camp and they just want to watch the carnage. You know? Just want to watch.
Right. Because it is controversy. Because controversy does drive clicks. All right. I'll do it. I mean, I'll still have to do it. It's not like I'm like, hey, I'm still playing guitar. So again, it's all good. But,
it's effective.
I don't want to hear people complain about it though. That's all. I get to complain, but you guys don't get to complain. Right. Exactly. And I guess I'm not really complaining. I'm always just like, don't you guys want more than this? That's why I started doing this other stuff. Don't you want more? And they said, shut up and play.
We just don't. They just don't know. They just don't know it yet. They don't know that.
Right.
They will. They will.
I mean, this goes to that thing too, where it's like what the market wants, what you want to give the market, and it's like you can be. I mean, look at everyone doing talking pedals now and talking gear. Everyone's doing it,
dude.
And I'm not trying to be rude about it, but like no one's nailing it.
I'm gonna be rude. You don't have to. I'll do it for you. Every time I see someone doing a talking piece of gear, or quite frankly, even like a skit, in certain styles, I'm just like, I'm biased. I'm biased towards you, and I get upset, and then I leave like the little looking eye comment with tagging you on Universal Audio's. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna show them. I know what you're doing. See what you're doing. Like when Corey Wong posted, he had that one video that he was like at a talking pedal in. I'd like to think that my comment made him know he never pursued that idea beyond that. He just stopped, and maybe because he knew that he had stolen it.
And I patented that idea. That's trademarked.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's like, I love that brands are trying to make things a little more lighthearted, because things were a little bit too serious and stuffy for a long time, which is why I was trying to lighten it up. But sometimes I'm like, wait, do you guys actually like this video? Like, did they like making it? Because it doesn't. Sometimes I'm like, you guys don't even. Do you guys think this is funny? Because it doesn't look like you guys are enjoying making this video, this skit, this whatever it is. It seems too. Again, it's like it's the biggest curse of the millennial generation. Everything's ironic, and nothing is like genuine and like intentional. Like Goldie and Cosmo, like it's a silly concept, but I'm not trying to use that to poke fun at things. I'm trying to make it so like there's someone else I'm talking to, so you don't have to see me talking to the camera the whole time, because that just wears people out. It wears me out, and I'm sure it would wear the audience out. But every time I see everyone else do it, they're like trying to poke fun at like, wow, this, like doing like the Jim Halpert face, like, well, this is weird. I'm like, nah, take it seriously. Like, you have an opportunity to tell a story, and like you're cutting out the legs before you even get to the punchline. It's again, the millennial irony poison. Like, I cannot wait for that to be done in any kind of marketing.
With your help, it will be sooner than later.
I need to do the phone bank. Oh God, like,
I'm telling you, man, I'm in.
Phone bank, and then a clapometer for something. Is another thing I want to incorporate. I love the clapometer where people are clapping and there's a person going, "Whoa!" All right, no more rants. I've had like 3 rants already. Like, I'm done ranting.
Tone Town. Anything goes in Tone Town.
Okay. Well then, what's that other? The Katana Mini. You see that came out?
No.
Like a super, super tiny Boss Katana. It's like you can fit on your desk. which is so interesting to me because like Boss / Roland, these guys have been creating little, like, how many little Boss katanas? I mean, there's like 20 different tiny ones, right? Katana Go, Boss Katana Express, or whatever it is. And
Is
that
that one?
thing.
That one?
I mean, it sounds good too.
Yeah.
So, but I'm always like, wow, the market's like ready for an even like another small Boss Katana. I guess they're doing Generation 3, so they gotta clear out all the old stuff.
Right. It's like cell phones back in like 2005. They just keep getting smaller and smaller, and so you have
Oh God,
little tiny one. It's like how small. They should have called it the the dagger. That's funny.
right. Oh wait, what was the name? The Hakagare, right? Isn't that the small samurai
I don't know.
sword?
Samurai sword
It
categories.
it was so funny, like they really like leaned in, like a super niche. Like
Yeah.
this is traditionally the short sword of a samurai, and everyone's like, "What?"
you get a sword with the amp, like
Yeah, a quick historical lesson with
yeah,
it too, like maybe like a legit like samurai helmet. Like
right.
because again, they're very cool. Like I
Yeah,
would be like, that's like they're leaning in, they love it, like they're all about it. Um, and still they're just taking the name and I mean, if they did like I mean, like in the '80s, if you were selling the katana, right, the Boss Katana, it would have started with two samurais, with cherry petal blossoms
totally.
falling in a bamboo forest, even though the cherry blossoms in your bamboo forest, whatever. And then they're like face off, and as soon as their swords hit, out of that clash comes
Amp.
Boss Katana. Like that to me is a cool commercial. I'm like, whoa, what's that? I want to know now because like two guys fighting a sword, like with swords, like so cool. An amp explosion, also cool. And then some ripping lead tones. Like, and now it's sold.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm sold already. Can we get Boss?
Oh,
Get Roland on the phone. Get him on the phone right now,
yeah.
or somebody who will do that commercial.
Yeah, I'm on the phone with customer support.
Like,
No, head of marketing. How
do you have an issue
screaming at them?
or it was like, no, I have an issue with the marketing. I have an idea. I'm an idea guy. Get me on the phone.
Yeah. I just hit 15K.
Right? Yeah. You
They're like,
me. You might have heard me. I just posted a 9 out of 10 video on my channel. You might have heard of me. It's not. Oh, okay. So these are sword. Amazing. Amazing. That's so cool.
kids guitar.
Not into it. Yeah. Oh, there. I think it's a good call. That's a good call. Good foundation.
Yeah, so those are the sizes. Katana, yeah, Wakizashi, Tanto. What was I thinking of? Hakagare. That might be from Street Fighter. I'm not trying to be insensitive. That's the only other Japanese word I knew. And as being half Asian, I feel like I get a little bit of leniency in that area.
Yeah, I mean, as far in Tone Town, you do at least. I don't know.
Yeah, don't tell you're innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, exactly. We maintain innocence until
Right.
court
Yeah.
of Tone Town takes you.
Yeah. That should be funny. We could do a Tone Town charter.
Yeah.
Right.
City Council.
This is what we believe.
Yes. Yeah.
Not all tones are created equal, but every man is innocent until proven guilty.
That's right. That's right. Oh man.
What are you saying? I don't know.
I don't know. Here's another pedal comparison. I'm sorry, I got it.
Yeah. Who wants? I mean, I bet you. Well, there are some more comparisons I'm gonna be doing eventually. So, also, I got not roasted, but I got hit with some education in the comments. The revival drive, and I don't know many people that have it, but the bright cap cut. The reason it sounded so thin in the video is because the bright cap cut all the way down. But I thought it only was engaged when bright cap is on, but it's engaged all the time.
Oh,
Which is why I had it just sounded a little bit thinner. I changed it. made a small difference in the low mids. But that's something to me where I'm like, it is easily proven to be the most difficult pedal I've ever used. Gets you great tones, but like easily it's just fraught with pitfalls. Like if you don't turn this here, like it will never sound good.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's so crazy to me.
So
Like how
there's a bright cap toggle switch and then a associated knob. Is that right?
yes. So yeah.
There he is.
So this tiny tone pot here, it's called bright cap cut.
Right.
And then on each channel, there's a bright cap. It can be on or off, US bright cap or UK bright cap.
Okay.
Now, I assume that this bright cap cut was only engaged when you had bright cap engaged, but is engaged all the time. And not only, and it says in the manual it's not, but it actually is. So, and again, I'm not trying to fault Origin Effects. Like they made this, 10 years ago. So, it's just what happens when you're manufacturing stuff. However, I had it all the way turned down because I was doing like a thing, or rather like 6 months ago with it. And that severely affects the tone. I mean, severely. It's like having a huge mid scoop.
Interesting. What?
And you would never think because it's not.
It's very counterintuitive. That's not. I would have assumed the same thing.
Boy.
Yeah. Weird.
And somebody said like, "Hey, the reason it sounded bad is because you did this wrong." And like the attitude, I was like, "What is this guy coming in here like giving me attitude?" And then like I kept thinking about it the whole day, right? I'm like, that guy, F this guy.
Well, the
I don't know, like I don't know a lot of these guys, so it's like if we're talking like we're in like a very informal manner, like there has to be some level of etiquette observed, right? Like I, I don't know, I don't get it.
I think yeah. I feel like you gotta.
What is
There
it?
should be a limiter on your sarcasm and level of attack when you come in on a comment to somebody you don't really know. Getting FOMO about Alex's rant. There will be more. Don't worry. What do you want us to rant about now?
Wait, did I miss something here? Oh,
I think you
does he?
lagged for a minute. I don't know. I'm not sure. Did either of you try the overdrive preamp by JHS? Is that the one that's like is it the Neve kind of thing?
The color box. No, I want to though.
I haven't tried it. No.
Because like just as like a record, if you're not recording a lot, I don't know how helpful that would be.
Yeah.
But like you can get that transformer kind of sound, and there's a lot of actually. Again, Supro has a big transformer in their overdrive pedal and in their tremolo. It's just not as big as the overdrive, so you can get that kind of sound. But like to me, like you can have another Neve preamp. Like I have the WA73 over here, which is a copy of the Neve preamp. So to me, like you can record vocals through it, you record bass through it, and it's a great tone shaper.
Yeah.
So I think a lot like that with any other kind of like modeler, analog or digital, is really helpful because sometimes a modeler just does enough, and you need just a little boost in the low end usually.
That one, right? Is that what we're talking about? I think it's got that Neve color scheme.
I mean, again, yeah, that Ross thing, it's still crazy to me. And I feel so stupid about that too. Not buying it.
I know. I couldn't stay up till 1 a.m. to do it. It's just
Like,
one.
am I the only one who's thinking about this? Like, Alex, like 50,000 people watched it in the first hour. Like, you think you're the only one who's gonna thinking of buying a Ross pedal? You idiot! I'm such a. I mean, I'm so stupid sometimes. Like, why am I?
No,
I
it's a.
wonder why I'm dumb. You know, like
I've
you
had
do.
this.
Like, I'll do a dumb thing. And I'm like, why am I dumb? Like, why do I do dumb things a lot? And then I say next time I'm not going to be dumb. I'm going to do the smart thing. But I don't. I do another dumb thing.
I've experienced the same thing where it's like, nah, nobody else is thinking this. It's it's I'm on the internet.
I'm the only smart one,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I bought tickets to see a band in high school at this tiny club down the road, and it was me and my like two of my friends were like, I mean, how many people are going to be there, right? Like, not that many. I mean, like we feel like we discovered these guys. They're not that big. They're just they're college. We get there, 2,000 people, sold out. We're like, what? Like, it's before the internet. So what can I say? That's
Right? It's like, oh, I know, and that's like I can never get enough of it. Apparently,
that's right.
Sean, you're absolutely right. Here's my problem. I'm really sensitive. I'm a sensitive man. So any perceived slight, like, will live in my head for years, years. Like, I'm gonna be thinking about some of these YouTube comments for years, and so,
I have a whole I have a whole folder in my phone of them.
right, I'm way too sensitive to be online.
Same.
Like, they
Yeah.
shouldn't let me go online. I'm not. I don't
It's
have
I've
the.
I've been hardened. It's been a good exercise for me to not, you know, to not internalize all of the hate that I get, particularly with you guys, particularly from your guitar. Can't read those anymore.
Oh, but now in your defense, they always get really rough comments,
They do. They do. I mean,
which
like,
is
yeah, I get it. I mean, I think the comments on like my channel when it's me, like people I think are a little bit like, even when they critique, they're a little bit nicer about it. But like I'm just like, I'm this face on another giant channel, so I have no feelings when it comes to the videos that I do there. I'm just a punching bag, for people. And generally it's about the gear, but there have been a few where it's like, you know,
it's personal.
yeah. But
Yeah.
you know what? There were a couple early on where I was like, you know what? You're right. I That part was like out of time. You're right. And I knew it and I should have fixed it. You called me out on it and you are right. Now you could have been nicer about it, but you're right. I'm gonna tighten it up.
I,
So I mean
I
there's
also, I forgot to tell you this.
okay.
Oh,
Oh no.
oh, my DCX Boost video. What is it, a year and a half old?
Yeah.
And a guy comments, "How about a tuner pedal?" Okay. And so I go like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, "I play out of tune." He goes, "Yep." And I so go timestamp it. And 45 minutes later, he has a timestamp of every single thing I played out of tune. We're talking, what, there 40 or 50 timestamps? Like, significant, like this to this to this someone's in tune, but then this to this. Like, second, like little 2 second bursts throughout. I mean, he watched the whole video, like, and timestamped it. And every single one I clicked, I'm like, that is out of tune. That's out of tune. Yeah, that's also out of tune.
Dude.
It was like 100 degrees in my studio. My telly, when it's hot out, my telly like cannot stay in tune.
Yeah. But
And
yeah.
and he smoked me so bad. I was like, oh.
You know what?
I'm like,
And
well, he
what
added to my overall watch time though.
you sure did.
But
Yeah.
and he's right. But I was like, I wasn't reviewing the guitar.
Right.
I was reviewing a pedal.
But here's the thing, and this is in defense of all YouTubers, especially solo creators. When you are the talent, the guitar player, the engineer, the lighting person, the camera operator, the speaking audio guy, the script writer, all of the above. I can't tell you how many times I've and it's not like very obviously out of tune. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, if I was only playing guitar and all I had to focus on was this, while everybody else around me does all the other things, I would notice that the G string on that Gibson could probably use to be tweaked just a little, just a little bit, like, and it's like, okay, like every once in a while though, you film a whole thing and you're like, yeah, that bend was a little bit out, or it was a little out of time, or like I probably should have hit the tuner one last time before I did that. And it's like, sorry, like I'm one person. What are you gonna do?
I wasn't expecting a response though. That's why I
I
was like,
I gotta go
and a
find.
thorough. I was like, okay. I'm like,
I'm
wow,
gonna
he
go.
is right. I'm
I'm
like,
gonna watch every one of those timestamps. Is it now? Was it like were you bending out of tune or was the guitar
no, no, like the guitar was
just literally
like
out of tune? Okay.
like the B and the G string are always out of tune on that telly. So
Yeah.
whenever I play something in tune on that telly, I'm really surprised.
Right.
So it's
Sir.
just like this. I'm willing to. I guess like also like I'm willing to be a little out of tune if it sounds overall good.
That.
Like I'm like I can
Yeah.
hear past it. Like I
Yes, because
that guy couldn't.
and
So
you know what? There have been times where it's like, you know what, the take was really good, the vibe was good, the gear that
right.
the guitar is being, and it's like, is it slightly out of tune? Yes, but I'm willing to, I mean, you have to do that. You have to do that all the time. And how many times are like even just some amazing, big professional, famous recordings where it's like something's just not quite right, but they kept it because it had like this overall vibe that was right. And it's like, I'm not saying one of my YouTube demo videos is like, Roxanne by the Police, but like it's the same thing. Like, you know what, that was the take and it's a little bit out of tune or it's just a hair out of time, but that's the take, I'm going with it. Your video just had character, exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Right. See, yeah, like that's I guess like I like that people think that they hold me to such a high standard. That's how I should think about
Right.
it.
Well,
But he doesn't subscribe to me. That's why I'm like, hit the road, Jack. Imagine this, like walking by a bar, hearing someone play, like you're out of tune. Like, because that's like essentially what that is. And so
yeah,
all these guys that like they have these such they just have such a different idea of like this is how I would talk to a stranger. I'm like, I wouldn't say that because like one, like if someone's playing out of tune, I'm like, well, that's not me. As I'm smoking my cigarette outside the bar,
yeah,
I'm like, hey,
yeah,
stop flicking away and then get into my cab and
yeah,
go to the Continental Hotel. But
yeah.
it's like to like that premise is just so crazy to me. But I also respect him in a weird way. Like the Batman respects the Joker,
Right,
right?
right.
Because he's volatile, he's psychotic, he's unpredictable, and there's almost a sort of like love between them. And I don't mean in a romantic way, but like they're like these twin wolves, right? They're like the twin brother, like Romulus and Remus, right? Founding Rome, like that's who they are. And that's this guy to me. I gotta find out him because he is like my Joker. He is the one who's like going to torment me and push me to become better, right? Because
There
Batman
you go.
can't be Batman without Joker, and
That's
I
right.
can't be in tune without this guy.
It's a symbiotic relationship. And now does this person have a channel themselves? Do they make things?
I don't even know if they're a guitarist. Like, who knows? Like, they're
Probably.
not. They're not. No, no, they're not like a. They don't have a channel. Like, it was someone again. Like, you don't see big channels doing that. They're like, I don't care what everyone else is playing.
I
In fact, it's better if they're out of tune because I'm the guy who's in tune.
I have never thus far gotten on my own channel. I've never gotten a hypercritical or just like really mean comment from somebody who also has a channel who is doing this. Never.
Right. Because
It's
also
always
because you don't really have time to. Even
right,
if I was a crank, I like
right.
don't have time to even peruse other people's stuff.
Right.
But
And,
I'm not.
and then if you yeah, and then get into it and be that mean about it. It's always the person with like the solid color circle with like their first initial in it, and then that's it. They're just, there's no videos. Or they got like one bit. Although I got real petty one time. Some somebody somebody criticized what I was doing, and it was not my playing, but it was like the using the gear, and I knew I was right. I 100% knew I was right. So I double checked, fact checked it, and then I fired back, and I was like, actually, no, this, and then
yeah.
I went to their channel, and they were like, they had filmed like 2 or 3 videos like years ago, and I left a comment. I was like,
Petty.
I know.
Petty.
I shouldn't have done. It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. But it wasn't like super mean. But it was just like, hey man, like I can go see your stuff too. By the way,
Right. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
get
I mean, like, it's not for the faint of heart. Again, like for guys like
no.
us, we're probably not meant to be in this kind of position. Like we're meant to be removed from the general critique of
It, It's
A
tough.
lonely passerby.
Yeah. Dedicated to tearing other heavy
Right. The only thing I can think of is that guy, KDH, but he only went after Rob Chapman like a
yeah,
madman.
a feud.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and then he stopped doing it because he realized, like, wow, I'm gonna burn every bridge in the friggin' world if I keep attacking everyone.
No,
Same with that other guy, White Sea Studios. He's Danish. Isn't it White Sea? I can't remember,
um
but it's a Danish guy. He goes. He used to have these videos of snake oil.
mm,
Like he built
oh
this like
yeah.
whole brand about
Yeah, yeah.
like hating on products, and has quickly again once he sees that there's like you hit a ceiling with like an angry channel. Glenn is the only one who can get by. But Glenn, you know that Glenn works with one of the biggest marketing firms in the world, right?
No, I didn't know that. Didn't
Yeah,
know.
he works with. So you can see when it changed. Like
Yeah.
he was like kind of hovering around like 50,000 subs, and now he's at 500,000. He worked with a very specific firm, like former Mr. Beast guys,
Mm,
and you can see it in his channels. I mean, watch his latest videos.
oh well.
They're not from me, but and I do appreciate him. He's very talented, and I get that like his channel, he wants it to be a certain thing, and this is how you have to do it. But like every 2 seconds, a cut. Then
Mm,
there's like a meme, and then there's a this, and then there's a zoom in, and then there's another cut, and then there's a graphic. It's like this, the Coco Melon of like guitar YouTube, where it's
yeah.
just like
Too
nonstop things
Just
happening,
yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
what it takes. Yeah, that's to get there.
I lost you for
What's everyone saying here?
have I oh I saw one comment from lowercase. Have you ever gotten constructive criticism online? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean I actually just made a video this past week about somebody who called me out for needlessly shaking my guitar neck all the time. And the comment was the impetus for that video. And they were right. They were right. But yeah, I mean, occasionally, but generally, no. Very,
Um, Actually, yeah, I mean, about the bright cap cut on that pedal, that was really helpful.
yeah,
Playing on a tune, that like when I again like that was when I first started making videos. So it's like it's just something that like you're just so overwhelmed with the whole process between the lighting and the
yeah.
recording and everything that and that was one of the first multicam videos I did. I think that was like the second multicam video. So like, to me, there was
A
like
lot.
I was just
It's a lot happening.
yeah, you're like alone in like the control room. You know,
Yeah.
cut to camera two. You're like, wait, I'm camera two. You know,
Yeah.
like talking to like some random assistant, and like
Right.
no one's there except for me.
Exactly.
Um,
Dude, it happens. How many times have you filmed or recorded something, and the mic wasn't plugged in, or you didn't record audio, or
yeah,
like, I mean, it happens. Yeah.
like no video. I'm like what's going on here? KDH was a professional hater. He was a gatekeep for kindness. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like I have strong opinions, but just about what I like, and I have strong opinions if someone's trying to bully someone, and that's pretty much it. Like I just want to offer like there are cool things out there, and you can feel strongly about your things, and you should feel strongly about music. You should feel strongly about the guitar, but you shouldn't feel strong about how other people do it. I'm like, well, if that's how they do it, then that's great, but that's that, end of story. It's like you spend all the time making it perfect, and then some dude comes in and says you're out of tune. It was so crazy, but again, like i almost I almost respect this guy for going through, and I'll post it. I'll post it in the community
Yeah. Please do.
post, because it is absolutely insane. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect that level of criticism, a professional level, PhD level of criticism.
Sean, uh, you hate editing. Um, I gotta go check your channel out. I don't know exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
Um, music, I'm assuming, guitar playing. Um, I would say don't feel like you have to make like a cinematic masterpiece like Alex does right out of the gate. Just turn the camera on and be you, and deliver something that's authentic. And also doing it live like that with the hope of not having to edit a lot will up your presentation skills immensely. Because if you rely a lot on like, oh, I'll fix this later because I didn't make sense or I dragged on too long about this or that or whatever. If you force yourself to make minimal edits, I'm even experiencing this now where it's like just be better on camera and you won't have to take 60 minutes of video to find 5 good minutes. Like, you should really like hit that. The goal would be like hit those 5 minutes and just hit it. And then like you can cut angles and make it interesting that way. But editing can be tough, but editing is also fun. I mean, I've learned so much because that's not a skill that I possessed coming into this. So I had to learn, and that was like a fun puzzle. It's sort of like when I started to edit, years ago, started editing my own vocals and guitars and everything like that is a fun thing to do. Especially when it's a project you're excited about or a song you're excited about or a video you're excited about. But there are those times where it's like it's a drag to have to edit something you're not super excited about. So Alex, go. Advice.
Yeah. So I guess, Sean, first I have a question for you. Is what do you want your channel to be, right? And I've asked Tom this before, and it's a hard question to answer. So you probably won't have an answer for that right now, and that's okay. But something you want to think about, like, what do you want it to be? Let's say you could have 100,000 subs, but what would your channel be about? Or rather, if you were in the elevator with someone and they say, "What do you do?" I have a YouTube channel. What's it like? Like, what are the 3 words that you would say? Guitar, educational, tutorials or whatever, or finding the perfect tone or whatever it would be. Like, what's that brand? Because that would be step one, because otherwise sometimes it just feels like throwing a dart at the board. And it's hard to stay motivated when you don't really have a vision for what you want it to be. Even something where you're not trying to make it your full-time profession. But if you are trying to use any time, and I think you're a father, right? So like you have limited time like we do.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do something on the side, it should be should have not a clear vision, but you should have a guiding principle for it, because your energy going into it, you eventually would want to see a return. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have to make more videos, and make videos that are 5 minutes long max, and think about what you want it to be ahead of time. Now, I'm on your channel right now, and I
Me too.
just subbed to you, so I want to see you post more videos. And I subbed to you so I can see them in my feed. So just a quick thing for what to do on these things. If you could buy an LED light, shine down, right? Like this. It's just you can buy a cheap one from Amazon, like $40, one LED panel to shine down on you. And then whatever you're recording it on, I mean, the new iPhones are great for that. Your guitar sounds good, but have it right now. Your camera's like up here. Have it eye level, right? Because like right here, because you have it a little bit too high, and that feels like I'm standing looking down at you, and you don't want your viewer to looking down, right? You want them to be eye level, like we're talking to each other. Now, here's the other thing that you could do is you could say, "This is my name's Sean, and this is my journey. I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z." And there's probably 20,000 people that are also trying to do that. So let's say you're trying to, I don't know, like you're going to test every overdrive pedal or whatever, or even sometimes better, I'm going to do every lesson that Rick Beato had put out or Rhett Shull put out, right? Like the names that people know. Or I watched every homeschooling episode from Larry or from Uncle Larry, and this is what I am doing now. Something like that. Like you can keep it within the realm. It can still be you. But if it's coming from your point of view, I did this from this thing that and this is how I am getting better. That's like a very, it doesn't require a lot of like preparation on your part, and it doesn't require a lot of extra gear on your part. It just requires you to be honest and upfront. So if you need to write out the intro ahead of time, because those first 20 seconds are incredibly important. And then, but the sound quality and the video quality will come in time. You just have to keep doing it, and you cannot do it less than once a week, is what I've learned. You
True.
just will not grow.
You know, the other thing, Sean, I looked at your channel too. You've had like 3 or 4 very successful videos, you know, and really look behind the scenes in your analytics, look at the comments on those videos, and then just watch the video and try to remove yourself from it and see what worked on those, because like you obviously, you know, you hit on something that worked in all those videos, and there were like 2 or 3 or 4 of them that, you know, let's make a flying V together, can one gig with the Fender GTX 100, you know, how to use, and those 3 videos are all very different, which is the hard thing too. It's like, you know, you have to balance like variety, but not being too wide. You know, it can't just be, oh, guitar. You know, it has to be a little bit more focused. I struggle with the exact same thing. I mean, believe me, you should see the text thread between Alex and I. It is a roller coaster of emotions. You know, of like, what am I doing? How am I doing this? Oh my God, everything. You know, this is great. This is, you know, so it's a journey. It's a certainly a roller coaster. But look at what's working, because there are things that are working. You know, maybe the video is a year or two old, but you still did something that worked, and maybe it needs to be tweaked for 2024 to 2025. But um, reps. That's it. That's all I can say is just reps. Like, you got to do it, do it, do it, do it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I'm following my own advice, because you know, I'm still fighting the exact same battle that you are sitting there thinking about on your channel. So, you know.
It is a crazy winner takes all kind of game on YouTube and guitar YouTube. It's like network. It's pretty difficult to stay motivated
Yeah,
sometimes. But if you keep doing it and you do stuff that if you cover stuff you enjoy, it makes it so much
it
easier.
does.
Again, which is why I'm torn, because I had to do stuff right now that I don't enjoy, that, or rather, not that I don't enjoy, but like I can't make weird videos because no one wants that yet. So like
Right.
I'm telling myself, if I get 100K, I can go back to making really weird videos, and it's gonna be great.
And it also, like, it goes to like, what do you want out of it too? Like, you know, both Alex and I are, these are like businesses for us that we're building, you know, and there's that consideration as well, where it's like, you know, can you afford it when there are opportunities that are maybe more business, make more sense uh business wise, you know, do they match up with what you want to do creatively? But that's also, I mean, like, an artist, if you're a songwriter or an artist, I mean, you run into the same thing, you know. I'm going to make it a goal every time we go to Tone Town, I'll make one John Mayer reference, and it's like, well, did John Mayer want to make a million Your Body is a Wonderlands? No, he eventually wanted to do what he's doing right now, which is be a guitar player first, and a respected songwriter. But without Your Body is a Wonderland and Daughters, there would be no John Mayer Trio, or Dead and Company with John Mayer, or Born and Raised, and all the rest. So it's like, you know, so it's a delicate balance, but it all depends on what you want out of it. You know, I mean, if it's a repository or an online portfolio for things that you're working on, you're passionate about, or whatever, and you're not trying to make it a business, that opens you up to try a lot of different things, and then, but then maybe it'll end up turning into something. That's what happened to me. I didn't set out for it to be a business, you know, but it's turned into that, and it was sort of like somewhat accidental, not completely accidental, but like, it was definitely, I didn't set out to be a guitar YouTuber in June of 2021, when I took a hold of my channel that had been around for a decade doing not much of anything. Um, yeah, there you go.
The you like the weird videos and t-shirts. Eventually, I appreciate that, and like there are more coming. The next one is Quilter, and it's such a good one. John knows about it. Obviously, Tom knows about it as well. Tom is featured prominently in it, and that's coming out soon. And then I got one more after that, and then I'm going to just take a quick pause, only because they take so long to make them work. But that's really the other thing. Like, if I could get, okay, I'll let you guys know a little secret, right? I'll let the rig don't gig. That's right. That's another T-shirt we got to make. One of like what I'm trying to do is I'm going to take. Oh, we're at 75 minutes. We got to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take all these Goldie, like the Goldie saga, right? And I'm going to wrap it, and I'm going to start pitching it to streaming networks because I've gotten some positive feedback from people in the industry. So I'm going to see if that can be a thing, because if that's a thing, that's it to me. That's what I want to do, to make weird guitar videos, and then that to me is very fun. And I think like there's other guys that are much better at reviews anyway. So it's like, because I get too excited, I'm like too like, don't you like it? And it's like, well, I like it. Like that's not like a unbiased. I can't give unbiased reviews. So it's like that's just how I'm not suited for that. I'm too excitable. I'm like a little donk. So if I have like, I think I'd be better suited to the guitar community if I made fun stuff to make everyone lighten up, you know. So that's what's gonna be happening soon. So we'll see. That starts this winter when I get talking to not my agent, but someone who's helping me in the industry. I wish I had an agent. Wouldn't that be great to say my agent? That's like such a funny thing to say.
Yeah. Well, how do we wrap it up, Alex? What's
Alex, the weird guitar videos guy, right? Like people pretty much introduced me as that. Like when I went to the Underdog to see Book of Act play, and I was assistant camera for Brett Papa, guitar god guy, big guitar guy. Everyone, I was being introduced as he makes crazy videos. And they're like, really? I'm like, yes, they are. I dressed up as a wizard. And they're like, oh. So maybe it's not their cup of tea. Right, I know.
As they fade into the crowd. Like, oh, okay, yeah. Great.
Yeah, they're like, nice meeting you, Eric. I'm like, okay. But it was memorable. They're like, that is a weird video. Like, at least I'm known.
Yeah.
Right, better to be known for something, right?
True.
So, guys, thanks. What a roller coaster of a stream.
Yeah. Longest one yet.
Next Friday is Black Friday live stream.
Oh, wow.
I might not be able to do it because I think I'm coming back from Wisconsin. So we might have a bye week. So we'll see.
Might not be bad.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll talk. Well, my agent will call your agent. We'll figure it out.
I'm never gonna live that down now. I gotta talk to my agent.
I'll be your agent. You be my agent. At that, it'll be fun.
Right. Sean, I can't wait to see your new videos, brother. John, thanks so much for hanging out, dude.
We will do it from. We'll be getting trampled in Walmart.
I'm live on the scene. There's no more katanas. As I'm being like, send help.
Oh God.
I'm in the Lego section. Please help. Yeah.
I got the last Fender Lego set. Oh. Man. Well, that's how we end it.
Right. Yeah. See that double standard? I dress up as a wizard, and everyone thinks I've lost my mind. Ian McKellen does it and gets an Oscar nod. So, there's no justice in this world.
Send help and a tuner.
And a tuner. Yeah, send a tuner.
I am Tom Butwin.
Ta-da!